So far, I have spoken about producing more energy and conserving more energy. Now, in the next few minutes, I would like to talk about the third and the most promising part of our battle for energy security, shifting to more abundant sources of energy by the development and the use of American technology.
When the embargo occurred in the summer and fall of 1973, it was a wake-up call and a severe one for this nation about the lack of a national energy plan. And so the cry went out for energy independence, which has remained an unfulfilled goal for this country ever since. But it did, at that time, produce legislation by Congress to address these problems. And the focal point was the creation of a national center to come up with entirely new technologies to get us off of our petroleum fix in those days.
SERI opened its doors in Colorado, a state known for its solar resource and academic talent, on July 5, 1977.
In the early days of the Solar Energy Research Institute, I remember very well coming to work so excited about our mission, which was literally to change the world and the way we produced and used energy in this country. But it was equally daunting. We had no technical precedents for these technologies that we were asked to produce at an extremely quick pace and at a large scale, compounded by the fact that we just did not have the facilities early on to do this research.
Back when we started, I did not have a full appreciation of what a startup company really was or what that would entail. We had no systems, no policies or procedures, nothing. So the first day of my employment, I drove out to Denver West, could not find where SERI was located, was completely lost, panicked that I would be late, and a young man drove up on his bicycle, and I said, "Do you know where the Solar Energy Research Institute is?" And he said, "Oh yes, that's where I'm going." And here's a man with a beard riding a bicycle, and he was our first scientist. And I thought, oh my, what have I gotten myself into? So he took me into the first floor of building number 3, and there's no interior walls, there's no ceiling panels. Telephone cords were hanging out of the ceiling, and there was one copy machine. That was day one for me. That's how we started.
I think everybody who came to that lab in the mid to late 1970s understood that they were part of something special.
Well, the very first win was when President Carter came to visit on what we called Sunday. He came to basically dedicate the lab, and of course it was a day that we had torrential rains.
Oh yeah, sure.
Later, huh?
Right, later.
Okay, this is a real rock.
I got something to say. I want to know how come the fascist pigs have been seeding the clouds.
Right, for the last hour and a half.
Airplanes going over twice with all the smoke coming out of them seeding the clouds, and I want to know, why that stuff is going down, man, and why doesn't the media report that stuff to the people, man? I'm telling you what happened. The planes come over
for an hour and a half
and they
during the
seeded all the
concert at
clouds.
Woodstock.
It's the second time they did
People
this
of
today.
unknown origin were seeding the clouds over the
I don't know what they hope to prove, man.
What's going on here?
And we had this celebration on top of South Table Mountain, and it was a challenge because it was so rainy and overcast, but that was fun. So that gave us actual national recognition.
By 1991, the environmental challenges facing the planet could no longer be ignored. The country called for renewed determination to develop clean alternative energy sources. Recognizing the broader mission, President Bush designated the Solar Energy Research Institute a national resource. Its name changed to the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL.
Well, with the success of the Solar Energy Research Institute, the mission was broadened, and with that, we were able to address more technologies. We have established national centers, like the National Wind Technology Center, and we have been able to attract world-renowned people in their fields.
We integrated all of the renewable energy technologies and efficiency. And if you don't have all of it together in one place, people will not think about how to integrate the whole system. That's where we are different.
Just the sheer survival of the lab today, from 37 years ago, is remarkable in itself. Not to mention the technology that has been innovated, that has changed our lives in this country and around the world.
It's a real mark to Colorado to have the epicenter of renewable energy right here in Colorado. That has lots of spin-offs, and it has bragging rights, and it has enriched our state considerably.
If you look out there today at the current technologies that are producing power or reducing power requirements or giving us choices in how we drive, it all began at the lab. So the lab has made a difference, and Siri made a difference to set a foundation, a strong technical foundation for where the marketplace is today.
What's the old line about any journey begins with one step? And I think that creating Siri was a first major step, actually, in the acceptance of the alternative energy resources as a part of our future.
It's a wonderful place with a very dedicated community, and that's quite a legacy.